In this short presentation, I will introduce my recent study on the variation between zero and ly adverbs in the Mary Hamilton papers, a late modern British English corpus of elite correspondence. English has long exhibited variation between zero and ly adverbs. Although the ly suffix expanded significantly from Middle to Early Modern English, zero forms did not disappear. In the 18th century, prescriptive grammarians often condemned zero adverbs, yet variation persisted. This study investigates how far the shift towards ly had progressed in elite writing in the late 18th century. The dataset comes from the Mary Hamilton papers, a large collection of letters and diaries written between roughly 1740 and 1850. Most of the examples analyzed in this study date from the second half of the 18th century. Because the writers belonged to similar social circles, the linguistic style is relatively coherent, making the corpus ideal for examining fine-grained variation. I selected 10 adverbs that are attested in both zero and ly forms. In total, I identified 598 relevant examples. Overall, ly forms account for about 75% of the data, indicating that the shift towards ly was already well advanced in this corpus. However, the picture becomes more interesting when we examine individual lexical items. The expansion of ly is not uniform across lexical items. Degree adverbs such as extremely and exceedingly are close to completion in adopting the suffix ly. By contrast, manner adverbs such as safely, quickly, and slowly remain in a mid-range stage. Mightily even shows a strong preference for the zero form. Thus, lexical factors play an important role in the diffusion of ly. Syntactic environment also influences variation. When adverbs modify verbs, ly forms are more frequent than when they modify adjectives. Also, ly is favored with predicative adjectives, whereas zero forms are retained more often with attributive adjectives. This pattern supports Rodenburg's complexity principle, that is, more explicit forms tend to appear in more complex environments. Another striking factor is word order, particularly with safely. When the adverb appears before the verb, the ly form strongly dominates. When it appears after the verb, the zero form is much more common. This clear positional contrast suggests that structural factors significantly constrain variation. Finally, I examined Mary Hamilton's own usage separately. Her writings show a slightly lower proportion of ly forms compared to the corpus as a whole, suggesting possible linguistic conservatism. However, no clear gender-based pattern emerged in the broader dataset. In conclusion, ly adverbs were already well established in late 18th century elite writing. However, the change was not uniform. Lexical and syntactic factors strongly influenced the choice between zero and ly. Even in socially prestigious writing, variation remained an essential feature of English. Thank you very much for your attention.